So last year I did 3 different tropical fragrance themed videos. One of them was called Smells Like the Beach, another one was called Coconut Fragrances, and then another one finally was called Tropical Floral Fragrances. If you haven't caught those videos, please go catch them and then come back to this video and find out about tropical fruity fragrances. And I've got 13 tropical fruity fragrances in this video that I'm going to tell you all about. If you're curious to learn about them, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yeah, today we're talking about tropical fruity fragrances. Are you a fan of fruity fragrances and do you enjoy tropical fragrances? So tropical fruity fragrances typically are like passion fruit, mango. We can include things like lychee fruit and so on. Or it could be just one note that combines different kind of fruits to create a tropical fruity accord. So I've got a lot of different fragrances here, and I think I should also say I've done a video in the past on TIZIANA TERENZI fruity fragrances. They do a lot of fruity fragrances. If you haven't caught that video, please go catch that as well if you like the brand of TIZIANA TERENZI and then discovering some of their fruity fragrances. But let's go ahead and get started with the first tropical fruity fragrance, going to the house of KAJAL. This is DAHAB, this one right here. Let's get that focused. So this KAJAL's DAHAB, I think they have more than one fruity fragrance. In fact, I think they have 3 or 4. There's also Lamar, which I featured in my Scent Club kits. But DAHAB is a fragrance focusing on passion fruit. Very fruity, very tropical, which also features green apples, which gives you that kind of a juicy, drippy, crisp, appley touch. And then on top of that, we've got musk, amber, bergamot, cedar, patchouli, and coriander. The fragrance is an uber fruity tropical fragrance and also kind of comes off powdery here. It doesn't necessarily have a very syrupy vibe. So if you like the idea of a fruity fragrance, a tropical fragrance that has these powdery elements and touches, then you're going to like DAHAB from the house of KAJAL. So KAJAL DAHAB is the first fragrance I'm talking about. It seems like we're going to be doing a lot of fragrances with passion fruit. But moving on to the house of TIZIANA TERENZI, we've got actually 2 fragrances here from TIZIANA TERENZI. We have one from their sister house, Quinto Canto, and then I've got a bonus fruity fragrance as well. I didn't want to make it a TIZIANA TERENZI video, but this fragrance from TIZIANA TERENZI is HALLEY, this one right here. HALLEY is an uber intense extrait de parfum fragrance from TIZIANA TERENZI, and it does feature or focus on passion fruits, but also peaches and raspberry and cassis, along with musk, vanilla, woodsy notes, amber, floral notes, rose, green notes. It's an intense fruity tropical fragrance, and it's the kind I like. I like the idea of fruits in a fragrance and an overdose of different kinds of fruits, which is what the HALLEY is. But you've got musky touches for sure. There are sweet vanillic syrupy touches. Of course, there's woods in the base and amber, and along the way you'll experience floral touches. The rose comes in, and then there's a bit of a greenness here as well. But in the end, it's a very fruity tropical fragrance. HALLEY from the house of TIZIANA TERENZI. Check that out if you don't know it. I do recommend TERENZI's fruity fragrances, and as I was saying, go catch that video on TERENZI fruity fragrances. But this next one's from the house of TIZIANA TERENZI once again. This is VELORUM, this one right here. So VELORUM is a tropical fruity fragrance in that it has gourmand touches. So we've got something completely different here. And it's also not an overdose of different kinds of fruits. We've got passion fruit here with almonds. There's white chocolate. There's musk, vanilla, tea, mandarin orange, ginger, lotus flower, and tonka beans. So as I read here to you the notes, it's only passion fruit we're dealing with, and also that creaminess of the white chocolate. It's super delicious, the combination, and it's also super long lasting. It's perfect in warmth. I like these fruity fragrances because it's not overly intense notes. The fruits kind of give them a freshness about it, and I like this one. Even though it has vanillic notes and the white chocolate and things like that, it still smells fantastic in the heat. So VELORUM, such a yum fragrance. Check it out if you don't know it. I absolutely love that fragrance. It was an instant love for me when I first smelled it because I like the combination of that fresh, the passion fruit, along with that warmth of the white chocolate. There's definitely a creamy factor there. So moving on to the house of RIRANA Parfume. that's how you say it. I think they spell their name PARFUME. I believe this is an Indonesian house. It's Coconut Nanas, this one right here. Let me show it to you. Coconut Nanas is a pina colada come to life. Super delicious and very pineapple-y, also coconutty, which also creates a creamy layer. So it's coconut, pineapple, there's peach here, there's tiare flower, frangipani, musk, and saffron. So we're getting the fruity vibe, the tropical vibe from not only the fruits, but also the flowers, the tiare and the frangipani flower. But it's a pina colada come to life. It's super delicious. You can wear this very liberally in the summertime, and if you like the idea of a pina colada, wear this to smell like one. Anyway, this is Coconut Nanas from the house of, if I can get that focus, there we go, from the house of RIRANA Parfume. I think that's how you say their name. But moving on to the house of Fragrance du Bois, this is Eau Jaune Intense, this one right here. So Eau Jaune Intense is mostly a very floral fragrance, but there's definitely fruity touches in here, and the flowers in here are definitely tropical flowers, because we've got tiare flower in here once again, we've got floral notes, we've got fruits, Ylang-Ylang, jasmine, pineapple, white flower. So the fruits to me do act like they're tropical fruits, and of course they've thrown in the pineapple here, and the oud in here is not necessarily very intense, even though the fragrance itself is pretty potent. The oud is kind of toned way down, and we're focusing on the flowers, the fruits, and the tropicality of this fragrance. It's super delicious. It's Fragrance du Bois Eau Jaune Intense. If you don't know that one, check it out. I do think that one is a really big, bad, fruity floral fragrance. Oh boy, this next one is one of my all-time favorite fragrances, not only from this house, but in general. It's super, super delicious. Going to the house of NEELA Vermeire Creations. This is Bombay Bling, this one right here. So Bombay Bling is tropical fruits come to life along with tropical flowers. We've got mango fruit in here, we've got frangipani, we've got lychee fruit, black currant, tuberose, ylang-ylang, jasmine, gardenia, rose, vanilla, sandalwood. There's definitely a creamy factor about this one. I think the sandalwood combined with the vanilla creates this very super creamy deliciousness. In fact, it gives you a very comforting, cozy vibe. But along the way, you've got the fruits in here, the flowers. It just creates a very tropical vibe. It's almost like you're at an island destination, very tropical, and you're having some kind of a very comforting, cozy cocktail with all these fruits and flowers mixed in. Super delicious. This is NEELA Vermeire Creations Bombay Bling. If we can focus there, come on now. There we go. That is from the house of NEELA Vermeire Creations. That's Bombay Bling. Moving on to the house of Zoologist Perfumes. This is Chameleon, this one right here. So this to me is definitely along the line of other Zoologist Perfumes fragrances. There's a bit of a daring factor about this one. But in the end, it's a tropical, fruity fragrance. And it features not only the fruits, tropical fruits, but also tropical flowers. We've got Ylang-Ylang here, star fruit, mango, frangipani, coconuts, violet leaves, cashmeran. So there's definitely a very musky vibe here. Totally very, very musky. And you definitely experience it here from the cashmeran note. But in the end, it's very, very fruity. Very fruity and also very, very floral. It definitely transports you to more of a lush jungle setting in a tropical country where you've got overgrowth of fruits, flowers, and vegetation kind of a thing. And there's definitely a musky, smell in the air kind of a thing. So this is Zoologist Perfumes Chameleon. Definitely a tropical fruity fragrance. And then we're going to feature this one as well. Going to the house of VILHELM Parfumerie. This is Mango Skin. I don't know if you guys know this one. I do have a mango specific video on the channel. If you're curious to learn more about mango fragrances, you can catch that video as well, where I focus Mango Skin. Mango Skin features notes of mangoes, black pepper, patchouli, blackberries, wild orris, black lotus, and also jasmine. There's definitely a woody base here, but for me, it's interesting. When I wear this one, there's definitely a little light off-putting something about it, and I feel like what they've captured here with Mango Skin is not only the fruit of the mango, but also the skin. Because when you smell the skin of a mango, there's definitely something funky about that skin. And for me, this is a very realistic interpretation of the mango fruit. So I would say use caution with this one. I do enjoy it once in a while when I'm into the idea of the whole fruit of the mango kind of wearing it. But sometimes the skin smell kind of comes off a bit odd. So this is VILHELM Parfumerie's. Let's see if I can get that focused again. This is Mango Skin from VILHELM Parfumerie. Moving on to a great house, Nuit Nomade. This is Love at First Sight. This one right here. This is one of the new fragrances from Nuit Nomade. And it's not only a floral fragrance, but it's also a fruity fragrance. And it features passion fruit along with lilacs and also mimosa. And then there's also acacia and ambrox. And of course, acacia is basically pretty much mimosa. They're kind of similar flowers. And of course, the combination is very spring-like. But to me, it transports me to a tropical spring destination kind of a thing. And I'm not sure if acacia flower or mimosa flower and also flowers like lilacs grow in tropical locales. But to me, it's kind of like bordering, tropical with the fact that it has an overdose of this beautiful passion fruit note with an even more overdose of the lilac and the acacia note. Really delicious fragrance. Really wonderful. If you love lilacs, check it out. Love at First Sight from the house of Nuit Nomade. It's a fantastic fragrance. And then going to the house of Quinto Canto, Strychnina, this one right here. So Strychnina is definitely a tropical fruity fragrance. It also reminds me of fragrances similar to other TIZIANA TERENZI fragrances. Of course, Paolo TERENZI from Quinto Canto and also TIZIANA TERENZI uses a lot of passion fruit in fragrances and also creates a lot of fruity fragrances. And this one's definitely lots of different fruits together with some flowers as well. So it features raspberry, passion fruit, peaches, cassis, brown sugar, vanilla pods, absolute of magnolia. So you can see that there's definitely some sweetness here, kind of a gourmand element, vanillic syrupy element when it's drying down, but along the way you have all these fruits and flowers, and definitely the fruits are kind of, on the spectrum of tropical smells. So you've definitely got a really beautiful, gorgeous, tropical fruity fragrance here from Quinto Canto. This is Strychnina. How many of you know that house? There's a whole video I've done on the house of Quinto Canto, not focusing on fruits, just a general overview of a bunch of their fragrances. If you're curious to watch that, please go catch that video. And then going to the house of Indult Paris, this is Manacara, this one right here. So Manacara is not necessarily as popular as Tihota from this house. And if you don't know this house, the original fragrances that were created at Indult Paris were all created by Francis Kurkdjian. So Manacara was created by Francis Kurkdjian. And basically, it's the combination of lychee fruit with Turkish rose and Bulgarian rose. And you've got this kind of a very gelatinous, very, very soft wear here with the lychee fruit. So if you've ever bitten into a lychee fruit or ever felt it, you've got that kind of soft, cushiony effect there, not only in your hands, but in your mouth when you're eating it. So that's the way the fragrance wears. There's definitely a very, very soft kind of gelatinous quality here that we're waiting to be bitten into kind of a wear, along with an overdose of roses. So definitely very tropical here, very floral, beautiful fragrance. I think you can totally wear this one in the summertime. There's definitely a thickness there, and I think you're getting that from the fact that the lychee fruit has that kind of an effect. So Manacara from the house of Indult Paris is definitely a great fruity fragrance. And then moving on to the house of Montal, this is Chypre Fruity, this one right here. So Chypre Fruity features notes of tropical fruits. They don't really say what the fruits are, but I feel like there's pineapple here, there's mango here, perhaps a few other like passion fruit as well. But it's definitely a Chypre with an overdose of oak moss. So it kind of has a bit of a classic touch with all these tropical fruits. So there's the oak moss, there's bergamot, musk, jasmine, patchouli, and rose. If you like the idea of oak moss and patchouli and the idea of Chypre fragrances, and then you like even tropical fruits, definitely check this one out. It definitely has the classic vibe, but I quite like it, and I love the fact that the oak moss and the patchouli in the base really stands out and contrasts against all the fruits up top when you first spray the fragrance. So Chypre Fruity from the house of Montal. Can we get this focused? Is a great, great release. If you haven't tried it, check it out. And then I'm going to end the list with this fragrance from the house of Attar Collection. This is Azora. This one right here. So this to me is a fragrance that's kind of similar to Fleur Narcotique and also similar to Neroli Amara from Van Cleef & Arpels. If you like those two fragrances, this is definitely a budget version of it because it's like 100 ml for like $130, $140. But it's super delicious and very, very tropical fruity with lychee fruit, peaches, floral notes, white musk, bergamot, jasmine, oranges, woodsy notes. Really wears deliciously. It's perfect in the heat. Overspray this stuff, it's going to smell fantastic. It's fruity, it's floral, it's fresh, a bit citrusy, and also definitely very, very musky and super delicious to wear. So this is Azora, and this is from the House of Attar collection. And that is the last tropical fruity fragrance I'm going to talk to you about. So let me know your thoughts on these fragrances that I've featured today in this video. Let me know also other tropical fruity fragrances. And also don't forget to go catch those other videos that I had mentioned. We've got the coconut, we've got Smells Like the Beach, and also tropical floral fragrances. Definitely it's summertime, and I think these fragrances are perfect to wear when it's warm outside, or just to think that you're on a tropical island destination, chilling and having fun and enjoying your time, vacationing kind of a thing. But if there are any other fragrances, as I said, please definitely put down a comment so I can find out what they are, because I'm always looking for more tropical fragrances. I like the idea of fragrances smelling like vacation. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Last but not least, we've got Tiziana Terenzi's Kirke, this one right here. This is a very, very popular fragrance in the world of Fragcom. I feel like a lot of people like this fragrance because it's very fruity and also tropical because it has a prominent passion fruit note, but it's also very, very musky. And for me, it also wears very, very woody. So it's musk, passion fruit, there's peach, pear, raspberry, cassis, sand, vanilla, sandalwood, patchouli, and heliotrope. I think it's the sand note that kind of creates this kind of a woody graininess in this fragrance, contrast to the beautiful fruity notes in the fragrance. I've left it here as a bonus. It's not one of my all-time favorites, but I wanted to highlight it for you guys because I know it has a lot of fans, and I think there's fragrances out there that are similar to this from other brands that people like as well. But either way, as a bonus for you guys, it's Kirke from the House of Tiziana Terenzi, and that is the last fragrance for you guys. Stay tuned for another video tomorrow. Have a good one. Goodbye.